What's going on? What's going on? So I want to talk to you about how Satan puts so much stress on us on the things that we can't control. Things like finance problems, marital problems, lack of sleep, loneliness, anything that takes you away from the functioning in God's grace. Satan will put you in situations you can't see no way out of. Once he has you in in the frying pan, he turns up the heat. You know, Satan attacks us in threes. We should not be ignorant of Satan's distress device because he will he will attack us every chance that he gets. So we must be watchful because the enemy is out to devour anyone he can. And we must keep ourselves out of the traps of Satan's devices. Let's talk about the story of Peter. It gives us an example in Luke 22, verse 33 and 34, verses 56 through 62. So here's my summary. Peter was gangster enough to pull out the sword against the soldiers, but later, when it came down to confrontation of him being on Jesus' team, and for him to tell the truth that he was one of the disciples, he couldn't tell the truth. He denied Jesus Christ. He just couldn't handle being truthful and up front. It's just too much to bear. So let's not judge Peter too fast. A lot of you denied Jesus without Satan's help. The cock will crow for you someday as well, because when you deny Jesus in your most stressful and most vulnerable situation, that's when Satan uses you to tear you down even more. That's when we need to be calling on Jesus, is when things are good and bad. So I say this to you: when the situation get tough, call on Jesus. When the situation is good, call on Jesus. When the situation is just okay, call on Jesus. Call on Jesus in every situation, and that way we can stay out of Satan's devices that he has to distress us in situations we can't control. Peter returned to the Lord, though. He helped others to be strong where he was weak in. And the thing he was ill-equipped to handle, let's not be ignorant to Satan's schemes Satan used on Peter. Let's not be caught off guard when the devil distresses us with things we can't handle the most. I'm telling you this to tell you that the serenity prayer is powerful, because we have to understand that we're not in control. God is in control. Satan wants us to believe that we can control our situation and that God is leaving us out in the wilderness and leaving us out to be caught up in life situations. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. God is always with us. God has never left us. He's never going to leave us. But if we continue to let Satan put us in stressful situations and not understand that we have a God, we serve a mighty and faithful and good God. Because I'm trying to tell you, God has been good to me. God is the God of the Bible, the God of the Bible that saved David in his distress, the God of the Bible that saves Moses and Israelites in their distress, the God that saved Samson, the God that saved Peter from his betrayal of him. That same God that saved Job when Job lost everything is the same God that will do the same for you, because he's done it for me. So don't allow Satan's device of distress or stuff that we can't handle make you feel like there's no end or there's no way out of your situation. That's a lie. Because God is there waiting for you to call on him so he can lead you through the valley of shadow and death. He's waiting for you to lean on him, come to him in prayer as that man or woman of God. He wants you to stop trying to handle situations in yourself. So we hinder our prayers when we do that. I knew someone that child was sick, and they went to everyone but God. They even went to a psychic. They even went to so-called prophetess. When you do that, you hinder the healing. You hinder you getting out of that situation. I talked about hindering our prayers already. We hinder our prayers. We hinder and we allow ourselves to be controlled by the devil when we don't include God in our trials and tribulations on a daily basis. Don't hinder your prayers. Don't let Satan think that your stress, your distress, your condition, your whatever it is that you're going through, that there's no way out. God always has a plan. And what the enemy meant for evil, God is going to turn around and use for good. But you got to believe it. And you have to take your hands off of it. Take your hands off of it. Stop trying to fix it. Give it to God to fix. Stop trying to fix it. Have a good night.